Hey there everybody, Jack Barnwell here, downtown Traverse City, Michigan on this incredibly epic, exciting project. We are back, it's mid-June, and we've been waiting on a lot of other contractors to do their thing and everything on a huge scale project like this. That's kind of the name of the game. But we are now in here to finish out all of the landscaping on this absolutely beautiful Victorian rebuild, remodel, reimagination. This one has been an amazing journey for the family to completely kind of change the course of history, really. This house was abandoned for about 50 or 60 years and had really kind of fallen into disarray, and they lovingly restored the whole inside and outside. And we are really in the final stretches of getting the landscape all done and cleaned right up. So I'm going to tour you guys through today, show you through how beautiful the back is all looking that we landscaped last year, if you remember that video. And it's all filling in and looking amazing. And we'll walk through everything that we got going on for the front to finish this one right out. Let's do it. We'll just do two here. That'll allow us to snug this up just a little bit and hit that point, you know what I mean? All right, so as many of you probably recall, if you did see the videos and stuff of this project from last season, my incredibly talented brother Emery built and designed and built this whole beautiful rough sawn cypress fence. Still needs a final coat of paint to get it all finished up and everything like that. But just as a recap, this the fence design itself was a really cool, unique design in that these are all individual panels that can be easily taken out, repaired, you know, repainted in the future and worked on. And all of the posts actually hover on this huge concrete post. These were all custom, you know, formed and poured, and then we put them in the ground. So there's this steel, powder coated steel bracket that we had made for these that the post, you know, feeds into here and is bolted to. So again, it's very easy to unbolt those, take them out, replace, repair. So there's no wood contacting ground or in the ground at all, which really makes this a much longer lasting wooden fence. I'm really excited about the way this all came together. It's super solid too. It really looks awesome. So we'll recap and tour through the back landscape a little bit that we planted last season, last summer, fall, and show you how magical this whole space is turning out. And then we'll loop around the house and go through the new landscaping and show you how it's all gonna be kind of coming together. Love the way these little charming gates and everything turned out. All these custom arbors and stuff that Emery built. He's just incredibly talented. So right off the bat, this really nice little flagstone walkway takes you into this playful kids lawn, you know, just a family space back here. The lawn, obviously all new sod, all new irrigation, all new plantings, and all this stuff is really starting to fill in already. This ajuga is really spreading and filling in, and it just is finishing its flowering period here. These were all blue spikes not too long ago and really were quite stunning. And now these are all fading out. The Brunera is just starting to fade out and everything. And the next flush of perennial action in a bed like this is coming on. So we have the hostas starting to get big. Those will get huge. These astilbe are just getting ready to flower, as you can see. And this is all just planted last year. So as these plants mature, they're gonna fill into these nice drifts here. All these daffodils here, they just need to be kind of gathered up like that and cut back. And then these ferns will just cover them. And you don't really have to cut them back, but it just kind of cleans up the bed a little bit. Taking them, cutting back some of that foliage now that they're well past their prime will allow these ferns to cover up. This beautiful big huge Aralia cover up and get big for the kind of the summer show. It's going to be this gold king Aralia, these big ferns, hostas, underneath this cool canopy of these new single stem white birch. So this is a cool little bed here, little birch grove, shade garden, some really unique hostas. I love this. This one's called Hudson Bay. Really, really fun little magical space there. All these boulders, everything was really quite intentional with this landscape. So little spaces like this were set so you could sit here, you know, have a cold beer, watch the kids playing some soccer, hanging out, just all about hanging out and relaxing and having some good family time back here in the back especially. And as you see when we go around the front, the whole theme and look it changes quite a bit to a more formal, a little more classical, kind of Victorian style to pay a little more kind of respect to the house itself. Over here we have some raised veggie gardens. This is just where the family can have some fun. And they're just playing around with some different stuff back here. The kids are all planting and they all have their own little garden beds to play with and everything, and having fun with that, which is great. The whole reason this whole entire space is all gravel here and goes into the back alley, all as gravel underneath the fence, is underneath here we actually have a huge 8-foot deep pit that is a massive big drainage system. So all this beautiful copper gutter, all this rainwater from the whole property is managed on site, and this is one of our big underground percolating sort of French drains that we designed underneath here. So if that drain is taxed and the water cannot percolate out slowly, it does come up through this in a few different spots through this gravel and slowly kind of percolate out into the back alley, which pitches down into the street and out to the storm drains. We did a really good job with thinking about and managing all of the water on a site like this, because it's a really big property and a lot of roof to deal with, and we didn't want to have the site, you know, with a big bunch of washouts and water damage and everything like that. So that was a big part of our first efforts, is just water management. Back here, really loving the way this whole space is coming together as well. Off of the driveway and the garage, another set of these just super charming little gates that come in off of here, matches the other one that we just came through. And again, with the flagstone, little mossy joint. This is Irish moss. This will take off and fill these joints in no time and be really beautiful, tight little joint there. And then some classic perennials there with the cranesbill, hostas, some deutzia, deervilla. This is a dogwood, a pagoda dogwood, and we just put in some new ones out front that are really big and amazing. I'm super excited about how those came in. Some more of these just gorgeous little single stem birch, and real happy with the way all of this stuff is sort of, you know, it's been just one season, really hasn't had any maintenance or anything yet because we're just getting back to this property, but all this needs now a little bit of fresh mulch and a little tuning up, and let all these perennials and stuff mature out and thicken up. The reason why we've got a bunch of bluestones sitting right here in this bed is that this fire pit just got finished. So the team from True North Landscaping, a bunch of total studs that we've had a lot of fun working with on building this whole entire landscape, just built this custom fireplace here. Really impressed with the way this is all coming together. But they had to take out some of the bluestone in order to put this in, and then they have to use those pieces to cut in the bluestone back in here where they had to take a few pieces out. So they'll cut that in probably, maybe even today, actually, today or tomorrow. That'll all be cut in and finished out, which is going to be pretty stunning. These top pieces still need to be all set and glued on. They're just pinched in here. But all this whole cap will be finished out still, and Looks like the family's already had some barbecue parties and stuff like that, and I'm sure they'll be using this on a regular basis all the time. My brother Emery, the stud who built this whole fence and everything, just is finishing up some beautiful benches with leftover wood from the decks. That's all Ipe hardwood, and they had some extra wood, so Emery built some really beautiful benches for around here. These are a little bit light duty, and they actually want to refinish these and use these in other locations on the property. So Emery built some really beautiful benches. I'll put some pictures on this video because I just got some pictures from his shop sent to me of these benches that he's building, and they're really stunning. So pretty excited about that and having that all finished out. We had some elevation issues and stuff to deal with back here to make this all work. And so rather than adding more wooden steps to that staircase, we wanted that staircase to come down and be level with this door threshold that goes into the basement. So in order for that whole area and space to be level, we had to work in this big, broad double step down to the fire pit dining space down here. And I love the way this all turned out by using this blue stone for this double step down, and then tying it into the bluestone rugs that we did out there. Really looks super cool. So there's a bluestone rug out in the middle there, a bluestone rug landing here underneath this little rug, and then there's a bluestone rug underneath the porte-cochere out there. This family does have kids and dogs and all sorts of stuff, so we did put this temporary fence up across here. But in time, this will come down as soon as the front fence is in, so that the whole property then is all fenced in so they can let the dog and the kids kind of run wild without worrying about traffic and cars and everything else. So this is just sort of temporary here, but this will all be a walk through and a flow through this space and area here. And I can't believe how much everything is really starting to mature in such a short amount of time. I mean, most of this stuff was planted in the fall. It's really just settling in. Anyway, this space off of the back door, there's right inside there is the mud room, beautiful big mud room, and the kitchen and everything, the kind of main central hub for a family home like this. And this big back porch is where the family's constantly coming and going and running all over the place. And the hot tub is definitely a family favorite, especially in the winter time. This is a really nice spot to jump out here and warm up. So we wanted to make sure it was as close as possible to the house. So I think it worked out really well, tucked right in here. We are gonna put a cool little seating area right here and screen that off just a little bit. But I really like the way that this has worked out, being close by and right off of the back porch there. I wouldn't want to give the kids any ideas, but they could probably jump from the deck into the hot tub, which would be fun. I do not recommend it though. This whole walkway here, it was just laid a couple days ago. So this is where we left off last year. We left out, we had the whole back and stuff done, had the hot tub in, and now we're starting in on the new landscaping that we're just getting going and getting installing on now. New flagstone walkway. As you can see, none of the joint work has been done. This will all be filled in and packed full of moss. So this will be a living joint all through here, and all these beds still need to be mulched in and packed full of ground cover. This one will be packed full of myrtle and Lixmachia, a little bit of sweet woodruff, ajuga, similar to those beds out there under those birch trees. Real similar look through right here. Again, the same exact arbor right here, walks out and finishes out the backyard concept, and then we come out into the whole front yard where we're really just diving into the plantings and this whole new space. So the front landscape is definitely a lot more simplified, a lot more formal lines, and a lot more classical concepts in the plantings themselves. So we used a lot of Denzii yew. These are yews all along the front in a really clean, sharp line that picks up and matches the lines of the front porch, because that's such an iconic architectural feature, the front porch and the big turret and everything, that we wanted to pick up that same line and architecture in these bed lines. And so that super sharp, tight trimmed green hedge will flow through there with some big, beautiful hydrangeas behind it. And the hedge that will follow the fence line all around the property is going to be spirea. I use spirea because it's kind of a throwback to the classical, hedge that would be in front of a lot of Victorian homes of this era. But we're using new genetics, a new plant material that is just simply a better plant. So this is double play doozy. It's a really, really amazing spirea that I love. The flower color is awesome. The foliage is really impressive. It's a strong, tough plant. And unlike some of the older, bridal veil spireas that would have been planted along a home like this in a hedge-like fashion, these are a lot more controlled in size. They only get about 3 or 4 feet tall and wide. So this would be a really beautiful hedge that flowers for much, much longer, and just a tougher, stronger, better habit plant. But again, we're trying to kind of have a throwback with some of the classical plant material and plant varieties, but using some new genetics and new plants that are just, better for the new age here. At this entry right over here behind us, this will be a metal fence out front, black metal fencing all out front. There will be a gate right here and a nice little landing with a brick soldier course around it. And then the fence going all around. So at each entry point, we have 2 of these nice columnar arborvitaes right where the gate will be. And that'll be really, clean and kind of simple and formal. And those columnar arborvitaes pick up that same repetitive sort of anchoring points around the posts of that front porch there. Now these guys are getting going on layout here, spacing all those yews out, spacing the hydrangeas out. And you can really see how there's just clean lines and nice green, clean look is going to be super sharp in front of this house. We're using some lilacs and hydrangeas and some classics, of course, but again, just new varieties, new genetics. This is one of my favorites, quick fire panicle hydrangeas, just awesome. And then again, out here, there's a big double gate that goes in this the front entry here. And the same thing with the columnar arborvitaes framing that gate. We'll have 2 big urn planters on those brick pedestals that we put in there on the sides. So big, beautiful urns planted up full of flowers seasonally, and flanked by the Japanese maples. Those maples will get pretty big and nice size, but will stay lacy and be easily trimmed to frame that doorway and that front entry. And there's a lot of balance and symmetry here that I'm really liking how that's all looking. And then we just kind of keep flowing. This is where we started our tour, and it comes back around the house here. We have to re-pour this. So this will have that same brick soldier course on it and a new pour of concrete. And there'll be a big, beautiful double gate here that will match the cypress fence. So a big double gate here that won't really look like a gate because it'll very rarely be used, but it will give them the opportunity to pull in here if they needed to get back in under the porte-cochere, access the rest of the property for maintenance and things like that. Just to have access through here will be a nice opportunity for them to be able to get in here, but it really won't look like or feel like a gate at all. So we do still have quite a ways to go. We've got the irrigation company coming out hopefully later today to get this whole entire front space all irrigated. Once we have the irrigation in, Then all of the smaller plants can go in, the ground covers, and then sod, and this whole front will get cleaned right up and really be turning the corner and looking great for a summer ahead of growing and filling in. I'm excited to see this property over the next few years really start to mature and take hold so this family can enjoy it and we can finally get out of their hair and they can enjoy this beautiful, beautiful space that they have lovingly restored, and they deserve every bit of the rest and respite that's coming their way in their beautiful landscape here in downtown Traverse City. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little tour and walk about this gorgeous project. We'll be sure to do another tour here soon when we really finish it all out and show you how amazing it's gonna look. And we'll also be touring through the inside of the house with the interior designers and the architects to show you through the amazing transformation that happened inside, so you'll get a full feel for the unbelievable process that went into this amazing project. So I hope you guys are all having a great day, and we'll see y'all soon in the next video. Cheers. We'll just do 2 here. That'll allow us to snug this up just a little bit and hit that